If you have been struggling with yellow teeth, stubborn stains, or bad breath that just won't go away, you have probably been told the same few things over and over again. Brush harder, floss more, buy a stronger mouthwash, or spend money on expensive whitening strips. But despite doing everything right, the discoloration returns, the sensitivity gets worse, and that stale taste in your mouth seems to come back just a few hours after brushing. There is a reason for this frustration, and it is something most people never hear about. Your teeth and your breath are not isolated parts of your body. They are actually direct reflections of your internal health, your metabolism, and your digestive system. When your teeth change color or your breath loses its freshness, your body is giving you a signal. It is telling you that something is out of balance on the inside, specifically regarding your saliva pH, your gut health, and your body's level of inflammation. Trying to fix these issues purely with surface level cosmetic products is like painting over a leaking wall and expecting the plumbing to fix itself. Today, we are going to look at the actual biological mechanisms behind oral health, why standard whitening products often backfire, and how you can work with your body's natural chemistry to achieve a truly healthy, bright smile from the inside out. Most of us have tried whitening strips, bleaching gels, or charcoal toothpastes at some point. At first, they might seem to work. You notice a brighter shade for a few days or weeks, but then something frustrating happens. Your teeth start to stain even faster than before, and suddenly, drinking a cup of coffee or tea leaves an instant mark. On top of that, your teeth become incredibly sensitive to hot and cold drinks. This happens because standard whitening methods focus entirely on the surface. They rely on strong oxidizing agents, usually hydrogen peroxide or carbamide peroxide, to blast away stains. While this process breaks down pigment molecules, it also temporarily alters the enamel structure, making it more porous. When your enamel becomes highly porous, it acts like a dry sponge. The moment you expose it to dark liquids or food, it absorbs those pigments much deeper than it did before. This is known as rebound staining. Most conventional dental approaches are focused on maintenance and cosmetic fixes, like scraping away plaque or applying bleach. They rarely have the time during a standard checkup to sit down and discuss how your digestive tract, your hydration status, or your liver function are affecting your oral environment. Because of this, millions of people find themselves trapped in a cycle of bleaching, experiencing painful sensitivity, seeing the stains return, and bleaching again, all while the underlying tissue continues to demineralize. To understand why this happens, we have to look closely at the structure of your teeth. Enamel is the hardest substance in the human body, but it is not a solid, impermeable block. Under a microscope, enamel is actually made up of millions of tightly packed mineral rods or prisms. Between these rods are microscopic pores. Your teeth are constantly interacting with your saliva, and this is where the real magic happens. Your saliva is the ultimate protective shield for your mouth. In a healthy state, your saliva is slightly alkaline or neutral, usually sitting at a pH between 6.7 and 7.3. When your saliva is at this optimal level, it is rich in essential minerals like calcium and phosphate. It constantly bathes your teeth, flowing into those microscopic pores to repair minor wear and tear, a process known as remineralization. However, if your internal chemistry changes and your saliva becomes chronically acidic, falling below a pH of 5.5, the opposite happens. An acidic environment causes demineralization. The acid literally dissolves the minerals out of your enamel, opening up those microscopic pores and making them larger and deeper. When your enamel is porous and demineralized, it loses its translucent, glassy quality and begins to look dull and yellow. This happens because the white outer layer becomes thinner, allowing the naturally yellow dentin underneath to show through. Furthermore, those enlarged pores trap microscopic particles from your food and drinks, making it incredibly easy for surface stains to bind permanently to the tooth structure. So, what causes your saliva to become acidic and your enamel to lose its minerals? The answers are almost always found deep within your internal systems. Let's start with your digestive tract. Your mouth is the very beginning of your gut. If you have gut dysbiosis, which is an imbalance between healthy and harmful bacteria in your stomach and intestines, it directly influences the oral microbiome. A major contributor to tooth decay and staining is silent acid reflux, or laryngopharyngeal reflux. Unlike classic heartburn, you might not feel a burning sensation in your chest. Instead, microscopic droplets of stomach acid travel up your esophagus during the night and pool in your mouth. This drastically drops your oral pH while you sleep, causing hours of uninterrupted enamel erosion and giving you that sour or bitter taste in the morning. Another hidden factor is chronic, low-grade dehydration. Your salivary glands need plenty of water to produce an adequate volume of saliva. If you are chronically dehydrated, or if you consume too many dehydrating beverages like coffee and alcohol, your saliva flow drops. Without enough saliva to wash away food particles, buffer acids, and deliver minerals, your teeth are left completely defenseless against staining and decay. Mineral deficiencies also play a massive role. If your diet lacks bioavailable calcium, magnesium, and fat-soluble vitamins like D3 and K2, your body cannot properly direct minerals to your bones and teeth. Vitamin K2 is particularly crucial because it acts like a traffic controller, ensuring that calcium goes into your hard tissues rather than accumulating in your arteries or kidneys. We also have to consider liver function and systemic inflammation. The liver is your primary detoxification organ. When the liver is sluggish or congested due to a poor diet, chronic stress, or environmental toxins, it can lead to higher levels of systemic inflammation. High inflammation markers in the body alter the composition of your saliva, reducing its protective proteins and enzymes. When your body is inflamed, your gums are also far more likely to become inflamed and recede. Receding gums expose the root surfaces of your teeth, which are made of dentin, a material that is naturally much yellower and softer than enamel, making it highly susceptible to rapid staining and plaque buildup. This internal imbalance is also the primary reason why bad breath or halitosis keeps returning no matter how much mouthwash you use. True, long-term bad breath rarely originates solely from food trapped between your teeth. It is primarily driven by volatile sulfur compounds, which are waste products produced by specific anaerobic bacteria in your mouth. These anaerobic bacteria thrive in environments that lack oxygen. In a healthy mouth with strong saliva flow, these bacteria are kept in check. However, if you experience dry mouth, or if you are a habitual mouth breather, especially at night, the oxygen levels in your mouth plummet. This creates the perfect breeding ground for these bacteria to multiply rapidly, embedding themselves deep in the crevices of your tongue and along the gum line. When you use conventional alcohol-based mouthwashes to fix the problem, you are often making it worse. Alcohol is a powerful drying agent. It might kill off bacteria for a few minutes, but it completely dries out your oral tissues. Once the mouthwash wears off, you are left with an even drier environment than before, allowing the odor-producing bacteria to bounce back with a vengeance. Furthermore, if your digestion is sluggish, or if you suffer from constipation, waste products can build up in your system, and gaseous compounds can actually be absorbed into your bloodstream, carried to your lungs, and released when you exhale. Understanding this makes it clear why conventional whitening products can be so damaging over time. When you apply high concentrations of peroxide to your teeth, you are inducing a powerful chemical reaction called oxidation to break up stain molecules. While it gives you a temporary cosmetic result, it strips away the protective protein pellicle that naturally coats your teeth. This process leaves your enamel temporarily weakened and highly porous. If your saliva is healthy and mineral-rich, it can eventually repair this damage. But for the average person with an acidic oral environment and poor nutrition, the body cannot keep up with the repair work. The enamel becomes permanently thinned, the teeth become chronically sensitive, and you find yourself stuck in a cycle where your teeth seem to stain if you even look at a dark beverage. To break this cycle, we have to shift our focus toward a natural root cause protocol that supports your body's natural physiology. The goal is to gently clean the surface while creating an internal environment that allows your enamel to remineralize and your oral microbiome to stabilize. One of the most effective surface level supports is using plain baking soda or sodium bicarbonate. Think about it. Baking soda is highly alkaline. When you brush gently with it, it instantly neutralizes the acids in your mouth, raising your oral pH and stopping enamel demineralization in its tracks. It is also incredibly low on the relative dentin abrasivity index, meaning it is far less abrasive than most commercial whitening toothpastes. Yet its mild crystalline structure is highly effective at lifting surface stains without scratching your enamel. Another ancient tool that has gained modern validation is coconut oil pulling. Taking a tablespoon of organic, cold-pressed coconut oil and gently swishing it around your mouth for 10 to 15 minutes creates a unique biological effect. Coconut oil contains high amounts of lauric acid, which possesses natural antimicrobial properties. As you swish, the oil acts like a magnet, pulling lipophilic or fat-soluble bacteria out of the hidden pockets in your gums and off the surface of your tongue. It also forms a temporary, thin, protective barrier over your teeth, reducing the ability of plaque and stains to adhere to the enamel. To support your saliva from the inside out, you must prioritize proper hydration and electrolyte balance. Drinking plain water is important, but if your body cannot absorb it, your salivary glands will still struggle. Adding a pinch of high-quality sea salt or a splash of mineral drops to your water ensures that your cells actually take in the moisture, directly boosting your saliva volume. To support your liver and digestive tract, consider incorporating bitter foods into your diet. Foods like arugula, dandelion greens, and radicchio stimulate the production of bile and digestive enzymes. This helps optimize nutrient absorption and reduces the toxic load on your liver, which in turn reduces systemic inflammation and improves your oral chemistry. Organic apple cider vinegar can also be incredibly helpful for digestion when taken before meals. Just ensure you dilute a tablespoon in a large glass of water and drink it through a straw, rinsing your mouth with plain water afterward to protect your teeth from the direct acid exposure. Your diet is the ultimate tool for changing the chemistry of your mouth. Certain foods actively provide the structural building blocks your teeth need to stay strong and white. For instance, high-quality aged cheeses and unsweetened grass-fed yogurt are exceptional for oral health. They are packed with bioavailable calcium and phosphorus, which are the exact minerals required for enamel remineralization. Cheese also contains a protein called casein, which forms a protective film over the enamel, preventing acid erosion. Eating a small piece of cheese at the end of a meal is an excellent way to neutralize dietary acids instantly. Crunchy, high-fiber vegetables like celery, cucumbers, and apples act as nature's toothbrushes. When you chew them, their fibrous structure mechanically presentation sweeps away loose plaque and food debris from the surfaces of your teeth. Furthermore, the act of chewing these crisp foods forces your salivary glands to produce massive amounts of mineral-rich saliva, providing an immediate, natural rinse. Drinking high-quality, mineral-rich, sparkling or still water provides a continuous supply of trace minerals to your oral cavity. For breakfast or dinner, prioritizing bioavailable proteins like eggs and grass-fed meats ensures your body has the amino acids necessary to maintain strong connective tissues and healthy gums. Additionally, sipping on unsweetened herbal teas like green tea or chamomile introduces powerful polyphenols that naturally inhibit the growth of the specific bacteria responsible for bad breath and plaque formation. On the other hand, there are foods and habits that actively destroy your enamel and disrupt your oral microbiome. Most people know that soda and candy are bad for teeth, but the reality goes deeper than just sugar content. Sodas, sports drinks, fruit juices, and energy drinks are highly acidic. Many of them have a pH as low as 2.5 or 3.0. When you sip on these beverages throughout the day, you are subjecting your teeth to a continuous acid bath. Your saliva never gets a chance to recover or raise the pH back to a safe level, leading to widespread systemic enamel thinning. Processed snacks, refined carbohydrates like crackers and chips, and sweetened coffees are also highly destructive. These refined starches break down into simple sugars right in your mouth, turning into a sticky paste that clings to the grooves of your teeth. The harmful bacteria in your oral cavity feast on these starches, producing acid as a byproduct for hours after you have finished eating. Constant grazing or snacking throughout the day is actually far more damaging to your teeth than eating a single large sweet treat because it keeps your mouth in a perpetual state of acidity, never allowing the natural remineralization process to take place. If you want to shift your oral health completely, you can implement a realistic, gentle 7-day reset plan to jumpstart the process. On days 1 and 2, your primary focus is shifting your oral pH and reducing the bacterial load. Start your morning by gently oil pulling with coconut oil for 10 minutes before you brush your teeth. Spit the oil into a trash can, not the sink, and rinse your mouth with warm water. Throughout these first 2 days, replace your regular toothpaste once a day with a gentle brush using plain baking soda mixed with a little water. Focus heavily on drinking electrolyte rich water to kickstart your salivary gland production and completely eliminate all processed sugars, sodas, and juices. On days 3 and 4, you begin focusing deeply on remineralization and gut health. Continue your morning oil pulling. After meals, instead of reaching for a mint or gum, eat a small cube of cheddar or Swiss cheese to instantly buffer any acids. Introduce a serving of bitter greens to your lunch or dinner to support your liver and gallbladder function. If you struggle with bad breath, use a stainless steel tongue scraper every morning and evening to physically remove the anaerobic bacterial biofilm from the back of your tongue. By days 5, 6, and 7, you are solidifying these habits and focusing on structural support. Ensure you are consuming foods rich in vitamins D3 and K2, such as eggs and grass fed butter, or consider adjusting your supplementation under the guidance of a professional. Pay close attention to how you breathe, especially during exercise or while relaxing. Consciously practice nose breathing, as breathing through your mouth dries out your oral tissues and immediately lowers your oral pH. By the end of this week, you will likely notice that your mouth feels distinctively cleaner when you wake up, that the persistent film on your teeth is gone, and that your teeth look naturally polished and bright without the phantom pains of chemical sensitivity. Your oral health is a profound indicator of how your entire body is aging and functioning on the inside. A bright, beautiful smile and clean breath do not come from aggressive chemical bleaching or synthetic alcohol-rich mouthwashes that strip your natural defenses away. They come from a balanced gut, a well-supported liver, optimal hydration, and a mineral-rich diet that allows your saliva to do the protective work it was beautifully designed to do. When you care for your internal terrain, your external health naturally follows, allowing you to age with vitality, strength, and a genuinely healthy smile.